How would you like to crush the IELTS writing exam? In this session, I'm going to share with you a story of how a student of mine crushed it after failing 3 times. Hi, my name is Herbert Lee. I've been an English teacher for over 15 years, and I've got lots of experience with different students. And one of the students I had in another class, not a writing class, it was an email class, came up to me after class and she said, "Mr. Lee, I have a problem." I said, "What's that?" She said, "I want to go to the UK to study, and I've done my IELTS exam 3 times, and I failed every time." And I thought, maybe it's her listening, maybe it's her speaking. And she said, "No, actually, it's my writing. I failed the writing section every time. I'm wondering if you can give me any advice." So I said, "Let me think about it." So the next class, I came in a little early, and she came in a little early. And I said to her, "Well, here's what I think you should do. Get some practice exams and then go through them, but I want you to do it in a different way." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I want you to clear your table when you do it, and I want you to do it exactly for 1 hour." She said, "But I can't do it." I said, "No, you have to do it in an hour. Otherwise, don't write the exam, because when you're in the exam, it's only 1 hour." Oh, she said, "Oh, I understand. Okay." And then I said, "And then you have to break it down so that you spend 20 minutes on task 1 and 40 minutes on task 2. And she says, "I have to be that strict?" I said, "You have to be strict if you want to pass. You have to be disciplined." So she followed the advice. She came back and she said, "I still can't finish in an hour." So I said, "Okay, let me sit down with you and I'll go through it." So what I did is I helped her with it, and I actually sat in front of her and timed her. And then I showed her some basic editing techniques, how to do editing. She had never learned to do editing. And then I also showed her how to do a simple outline of an essay before you start writing. With those 2 things, she was able to almost finish on time, the second time that she did it. So I said, "Okay, let's give it a week." A week later, she came back and said, "This time we're going to do it." And she practiced in the meanwhile. She did it like 2 or 3 more times at home during that week. Then she came back again, and I sat in front of her and I said, "Let's do the test one more time." And she did it in front of me 1 hour. She was like 1 hour and 10 minutes, which isn't too bad. And her writing was getting better. So then I said, "Okay, let's take a break." We took a break and we chatted a little bit. And then I said, "Let's do it one more time, see if you can get it in 1 hour time frame." We took a break. She relaxed. She was able to do both tasks in the 1 hour time frame. And that was a breakthrough for her. But she only, I think, maybe 4 times or 5 times, and then she was able to do it. So that was good progress. So I gave her 2 more practice tests. She went home and did it. And then she phoned me that she had done it. She said she was ready for the test, which was coming up in 2 weeks. So all in good. And I think she did 1 more test by herself before the test. 3 or 4 weeks after the date of the test, she called me on the phone and she said, "I've got really good news. I'm going to the UK. I passed the IELTS exam. Thank you very much for the good advice." And she said she was amazed. She didn't think she could pass, but she said with that guidance, it really worked well. She'd already failed 3 times, and this is the 4th time, and she said, "If I don't pass it this time, I won't have a chance to go to the UK for another year." So she was really happy. So let me share with you the exact details of how to pass the IELTS writing exam. First, get your mind in the right place. Suppose you only have a few weeks to get ready. You may be thinking, "My vocabulary is bad. My grammar is not so good either." Well, stop worrying about it. They're only a small part of the overall score. The main reason for a low score has nothing to do with grammar or vocabulary. The main reason people get a low score is unfinished essay. Let me repeat that. The reason is an unfinished essay. When a marker who's doing your grade sees an incomplete essay, he or she will give you a low mark. So instead of worrying about grammar and vocabulary, focus on your time, on structure, and speed. First things first, there are 2 tasks in the IELTS writing exam. Task number 1 takes 20 minutes. You are presented with a graph, chart, or diagram, and you must synthesize, that means put it together, and summarize the key findings within a precise framework. This exercise not only tests your ability to recognize trends, but also assesses your written communication skills at lightning speed. The nature of task 1 is descriptive. One strategy worth exploring is adopting an organizational framework known as PEAL, P-E-E-L. Point, explain, example/evidence, and link. By breaking down your response into these 4 clear sections, you ensure that every idea is accounted for while maintaining coherence throughout your writing. Remember to use strong vocabulary and transitional devices to clearly show connections between ideas or points. You can look, there's a video I've created on transitional phrases. Task 2 takes 40 minutes. Well, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the prospect of completing a well-organized and concise essay in just 40 minutes. You need to practice good time management. Learning to finish your essay in the allocated time frame can make all the difference in conveying your ideas clearly and coherently. By recognizing this challenge early on and practicing under timed conditions, you can build up your speed and efficiency, enabling you to complete task 2 with confidence. Now, here's another point. You need to learn to practice with a purpose. Practice with a purpose is the key to success in any endeavor, and preparing for the IELTS writing exam is no different. Instead of doing the test many, many times, it's much more important to approach each task with a specific goal or skill in mind. Practicing with purpose means being mindful of time constraints while working on sample tasks. It's crucial to simulate real exam conditions by setting strict time limits and adhering to them during practice sessions. This will enable you to become more efficient in planning and organizing your thoughts with the allocated time frame, and an essential skill for achieving higher scores on the IELTS writing exam. You have 3 purposes you must focus on during practice. 1. Learn how to write fast. 2. Learn to use an organizational system. And 3. Learn how to edit and revise. It's a sprint, not a marathon. You must learn how to speed write. Learning how to speed write is crucial for success in the IELTS writing exam. With limited time to complete both Task 1 and Task 2 essays, it's important to train yourself to think quickly and express your ideas concisely. You use practice-timed writing sessions where you aim to produce a well-structured essay within a given time frame. By setting strict time limits and challenging yourself to finish before the deadline, you not only improve your writing speed, but also develop stronger time management skills. However, It's important not to sacrifice quality for speed. While completing the tasks on time is vital, it's equally important that your essays demonstrate depth of thought and coherence of ideas. To achieve this balance, it is recommended that you develop some time at the beginning of each session, brainstorming and outlining your essay structure. This will help you organize your thoughts more efficiently and ensure that your content flows logically. Speed doesn't mean sacrificing quality. While it's important to write quickly during the exam, make sure you don't compromise coherence, grammar, or punctuation in pursuit of finishing swiftly. With practice and strategic planning, you can strike a balance between speed and accuracy and will maximize your performance on the IELTS writing exam. Here, learn a simple organizational system. One of the most effective ways to prepare for the IELTS writing exam is by learning simple organizational system that will help you structure your essays effectively. One such system is the PEAL, P-E-E-L method, which stands for point, evidence, explanation, and link. By following this method, you can ensure that your essay has a clear argument supported by relevant evidence and logical reasoning. Firstly, start with a clear point or opening statement that outlines the main idea or argument of your essay. This will provide direction and focus for your writing. Secondly, support your point with specific evidence from reliable sources, which you'll have to get from your memory, but hopefully from reliable sources such as research studies or real-life examples, something that happened to you in your life. This will lend credibility to your argument and make them more compelling. Next, offer an explanation of how the evidence supports your point. This step is critical in showing a deeper understanding of the topic and its implication. Finally, provide a link between each paragraph by tying back to your original opening statement or introducing the next point you plan to discuss. By using this simple organizational system, you can enhance both the clarity and coherence of your IELTS writing essay, while showcasing critical thinking skills in an organized manner. Learn how to edit and revise. Point number 3, learn how to edit and revise. Editing and revising your writing is a crucial step in the IELTS writing exam preparation process. It's not enough to simply write a well-structured essay. You must also fine-tune to ensure clarity, coherence, and accuracy. One effective way to edit your work is to read it out loud. I mean, not really out loud because you're in a test, but read it out loud in your mind. This allows you to catch any awkward phrasing or missing punctuation that may hinder the reader's understanding. Additionally, be conscious of sentence variety and length. Using different sentence structures can elevate your writing and keep the reader engaged. Another aspect of editing and revising is checking for grammar errors. While some mistakes may be obvious, others require careful proofreading. It can be helpful to review common grammar rules before tackling this phase of the process. This will allow you to identify errors more easily. Furthermore, pay attention to verb tenses and subject-verb agreement, as these are the most common sources of mistakes for many test takers. In conclusion, learning how to edit and revise effectively is essential for success in the IELTS writing exam. The ability to refine your work by reading it aloud, ensuring grammatical accuracy, and incorporating sentence variety will impress examiners with your language proficiency skills. Next item, get rid of your dictionary. What? Get rid of your dictionary. One common mistake many IELTS writing exam candidates make is relying too heavily on their dictionaries. You won't have a dictionary on the day of the IELTS exam. So you practice without a dictionary to get ready for the exam. And if you can't do that, don't take the exam. So that wraps up part 1 of how to crush the IELTS writing exam. In this episode, I hope I've shown you that you need certain specific skills to really crack the writing exam. You need to develop speed, you need to learn how to outline, and you need how to write a complete essay. The most important part is the complete essay. Get your mind off the idea that you need to have good grammar, good vocabulary. Those are only worth about 10 or 15 marks. So if you're only half good at it, you'll lose half those marks. But if you have an incomplete essay, which is 40%, means you're going to lose 20 points right off the top. So focus on the idea of getting a complete essay. In part 2, I'm going to show you specific ways that you can develop your speed, specific ways that you can develop your brainstorming, how to create an outline, and get to the finish line on time. See you in part 2.